Okay, here I am, Bill, today, in southern Maryland and southern Charles County near Indian Head. Just want to talk a little bit about a concept I've heard called imaginary friend, which somebody on Facebook invented for me. When you follow people that you admire on social media, particularly YouTube creators and even people who don't necessarily have channels but have some renown and who are appealing and so forth, and then don't actually relate to people in your immediate environment who in my case are much older and much less obviously less appealing, at least in an obvious way, on a superficial, just as I am not. That creates a lot of problems. You don't have anybody to back you up. You don't back anybody else up. You don't join in. You don't feel any sense of belonging to a group. That actually starts out with the family when you're growing up, whether you date and get married, have children, or now you can do that in same-sex relationships. But you couldn't do that when I was growing up. So you sort of outflank the system, and then you start wanting to associate with only the people that you think are good enough. And then the others get left behind. And so that becomes a kind of destructive cycle that now we see contributes to political polarization and things breaking down. It's an interesting concept. PewDiePie should make a meme called Imaginary Friend. So I guess I can propose that to him. But anyway, it's not very easy for me to do anything about that quickly. I've noticed that some people who I pay a lot of attention to are not as frequently using social media as they used to. They're not tweeting very often, or they're not making videos as often, or not mentioned by other people as often. They probably don't want to be taken for granted, and it probably makes them uncomfortable to think that they're the object of somebody else's attention, even though the other person doesn't do anything wrong or stalk or anything. It probably seems creepy to them. Pete Buttigieg said something about that with respect to Donald Trump recently. So this is kind of, maybe we're seeing people withdraw from social media and not wanting to be taken for granted, and wanting to be more local and expecting other people to be more local. This is something that deserves to be noticed. But anyway, that's the thought for today.